Let's see a problem. Now we know how to not make a ball turner. So I've got an idea. Let's make a new one. Well, there it is, temporarily attached. I may need to tighten that nut on the bottom there just a little bit. Hello and thanks for joining me. Well, as you just saw in the video clips I just showed you, I had a couple of failed attempts on ball turners. They worked, but they didn't work really well. The first one I made was an attempt to make one that I think would turn a 2.5 inch ball, and I'll never need to turn a 2.5 inch ball, so I'm going to give up on that idea. And this one was to mount directly on the compound, and then you feed it in with your insert right here and it rotated like this. Well, it worked good, except when you start your ball, you're off center. In other words, you feed in with the cross slide like that. So you're feeding, so when you start your cut, you're below center. And it worked, but not very good. It cut really poorly at the start. Eventually you're on center when you finish the ball. Anyway, I got back out on the internet and looked at the designs made like this, and they're using a boring head, and they start out with a larger diameter like that, and then with the adjustment on the boring head, go smaller and smaller and smaller until they reach the desired diameter. But the problem with that, if you start out big like that, you hit the chuck. So you have to have a lot of stick out on your stock. And that's going to be the case with any ball turner. I mean, that's a negative to them. To make a complete ball is very difficult. But that's my goal, is to get to close to making one complete ball as possible, but without using a boring head. So we're going to give that a try. And the way I'm going to do that is make this so that I can set this to a specific diameter, say a 1 inch ball like that. And then it will mount on my quick change tool post, and I'll use the dovetail slide to make the adjustment going down. That way you don't end up with this sticking way out there on larger stock and hitting your chuck. We're going to give it a try. I don't know if all that made sense, but it'll make sense as it takes shape. Okay, this is what we'll probably need to make this ball turner. It's kind of a work in progress. There may be some more stock, like to make a handle to rotate it. But this is what we're going to start out with. Probably most of what we need. Okay, first thing we got to do is surface both sides of this. I made some grooves in my chuck there. I know I brought that up several times before, but that is a super handy thing to be able to have a little ledge in your chuck jaws to hold stock like this. This thickness is not critical. I made it slightly over 1/2 inch so that it would end up about 1/2 inch after we got done truing both edges, or both ends. like it. Fits good. That's 3/8 cold rolled. Okay, we got a mill of slot in here. I've touched off. Needs to be about 1/8 of an inch. It's not really critical, but got my 1/2 by 1/2 stock, and we need to make sure that fits. Oh, it's perfect, perfect. Okay, I've got the 1/2 inch by 2 inch diameter that I just milled back in my lathe with the slot facing the chuck. I need to cut a bevel right here. Significant bevel. What I'm going to do is weld that 3/8 bar right there. Probably the best way to do this is take this 1/2 inch stock, put it in the slot that I just milled, so that I don't go too far. There we go, perfect. Well, I'm going to mill a 3/8 slot in this 1/2 by 1/2 and go 3/16 deep, which is really not critical, but I think 3/8 will work out good. Okay, now I'm going to cut a slot just about the full length of that, 1/4 inch wide. Coolant works great. One drawback is you're kind of blinded, but that worked good. That's what I wanted right there. Okay, it's kind of hard to see what I'm doing here, but I'm truing the end of this 3/8 square stock. Turning it around, doing the same thing. Okay. Okay, now I need to mill the end of this, and I'm going to use the bottom of my vise and the end of my parallels to make sure that's square. Got it right there. Should be in the center of the vise, but I think it'll be all right. Well, now I got to drill a hole in that for a small metric screw, 3mm. So I got to put my drill chuck in there. I think what I need to do is come up with a smaller drill chuck, so I don't have to drop the knee so far. Kind of ridiculous for a little tiny drill. Got some ER collets that probably would have been a little better. This will work. Okay, it goes right in the center. Okay, I've got the countersink in there, which is for my tap guide. This is a spiral tap, a gun tap if you want to call it that, spiral point. is pushing the chips to the bottom of the hole, but I made the hole extra deep. Super important with a tap this size that you guide it, otherwise you'll break it. Starting to get tight there. Could have made that hole just a little bit off center. Don't have much stick out there, but that'll probably be enough. If not, I'll just grind a little bit off of there. Should work just like that though. Okay, I've got a piece of square stock in my 4-jaw. I've got a center punch that's 5/8 one direction and 1/4 off another direction. And I need to make that center. Okay, it's high on this side. Yeah, I need some point of reference. Oh, that's good there. By taking a center drill, carefully reestablishing a new center, then the hole I drill through there will be straight. Ah, that looks good. Might be a hair off, but it's pretty close. That's good. No movement to that center drill. That means it was pretty close to on center anyway. 3-inch deep hole here. Hopefully it'll go smooth. This is the most questionable part of this whole thing. Hopefully the jaws on my 4-jaw are straight. Reaming to 3/8. Well, let's test for a fit here. Oh boy, couldn't ask for any better. Okay, what I'm going to do now is mill a 1/2 by 1/2 section out of that. This is only 3/8 of an inch deep, I think. I may just go 3/8 inch deep. Yeah, 400 thousandths. May go 400. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, let's see if I can weld this without messing it up. That's probably appropriate. That came out good. I like it. Okay, now I got to turn that weld down. Take that out of back gear. Making a hole for a center to help support it when I turn the weld. Okay, I think this is going to work good. Thing is, I've got to come up with a handle on the end and get it oriented right. Shouldn't be a problem though. Straight down from there. Found an old hand wheel here, surplus hand wheel, and I think that'll be good enough. I'll just ream that out to 3/8 of an inch and put a little flat spot on that shaft probably where it'll grab it. I think it'll be good. Okay, I milled a little flat right there for this knob. Okay, I'm putting a transfer punch, a real thin transfer punch in here to set the center height on the ball turner. This is the first try. On the next one, I'll cut an undercut on the back side of the ball. Interesting. I'm going to undercut that back side and see if I can make a full size or more or less complete ball. Well, my camera battery went dead, but I had one successful ball there. That's not too bad. But I got to make some changes. Let me show you what I'm doing over here on the mill. That's the insert holder right there, and I'm going to mill a slot going across so that the diamond insert can sit in there straight. Hopefully that'll work. It's kind of going by feel here. Well, that actually worked exactly as intended. The insert still turns, which I was hoping it would index into those slots I just cut. But it may be that it won't turn on its own. May have to modify it. But if it doesn't turn on its own, if you make one of these, you can just leave a flat surface there. Okay, let's try this again on a 1-inch ball. First thing I'm going to do is make an undercut right there. I don't know what kind of undercut I need there, maybe 3/8 of an inch maximum. Probably need a better way to establish center. Honestly, once I establish it, I could put a shim underneath it and it'd be perfect. A little bit high. I think I can actually turn that a little faster RPM. You can actually make a really big adjustment when you're just turning the sides of the ball. As you get toward the middle of it, it's going to be pretty particular. Well, there it is. Well, that's not perfect, but it looks good, doesn't it? Put a little emery cloth on it, see what it makes it look like. I like it. Now, if I want to use that for something, put my cutoff and grooving tool back in there, square this shoulder off. Okay, I got the ball turned around. My cutoff tool in there will cut this extra stock off here. The ball is smaller than the stock I turned it out of, so it's inside the chuck. And I'm going to cut some 1/4-20 threads in the end of the ball. Okay. That was 16 turns deep, which is about Well, let's see. About 400 thousandths into the ball. I think I'm going to go another 1, 2. I'd hate to go through the end of the ball. But that's a deep hole, so I'm going to enlarge part of it because I don't need to thread what I'm drilling through right here on this end. That's about 1 inch. It's just a clearance. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. Not bad. Well, there it is. A ball for the ball turner. I like it. That's my take on the ball turner. Controlled depth of cut with the tool height adjustment on your quick change tool holder. As far as the insert goes, I think the insert works really well because it's a pointed insert, so it's got a limited size cut, small radius. Doesn't overload the tool. But I think you could probably just mount it on the end of a 3/8 square rod, or even a 3/8 round rod would probably be adequate. I don't think that insert would go anywhere. Anyway, that about wraps it up. Thanks for joining me. Be sure to subscribe and ring that bell.